We'll start with Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the next item of the agenda for today, we have the minutes and the claims from the Vigo County Auditor.
Presented is your minutes for November 16th, 2021 meeting for your approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. All by aye?
Aye.
You can go ahead with the claims.
Yep.
Okay. You've been presented with claims for November 13th, 2021 to November 19th, 2021 in the amount of $12,196,043.46 for your approval today.
Hey Cheryl, any encumbrance and stuff, when does that need to be done before the end of this calendar year?
I'm getting ready to send out an email, as we used to do them in January, and have everybody put their encumbrances in. But we're moving that deadline up for our office due to the fact that they should be in before December. So they'll be due by December 15th.
December 15th?
I don't know what day that falls on, so maybe it might actually be.
I mean,
That's
realistically,
the weekend, we'll go the 16th.
as
Okay.
that's probably our last date for a meeting like this for the year. Are we all good with that? I mean, I know I'm jumping in the agenda here, but I'm not going to be here after the 5th or after the 17th.
Well, if we don't have any contracts or anything like that, we can still meet if we need to.
Yeah. And what we did last time was I did it by video, but
Which is a good way.
so we should knock everything. We should get all those done before the 15th. Is that what you're thinking?
Encumbrances will be into the auditor's office by December 15th.
And then we just do it in January.
Yes, if you guys want to look through them and approve them. Normally
Okay. All right. I want to make sure that we're on track, and you're the one to guide us. So I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
November 13th, November 19th, 12 million. It's a lot of money.
Yep.
$12,196,043.46.
Which includes what? Our bond,
It includes the 10 million that was
10 million
requested from the LIT
requested to straighten that
for
up.
the jail bond.
And
For our
that
jail
check was
bond.
delivered, right? Okay.
Okay, so that's the reason for the large amount. Okay. All by aye?
Aye.
Thank you.
Item number 3 on the agenda, discussion about the old jail for the commissioners.
Yeah.
Big old bulldozer.
So Mike came to me early last week, and then when we talked to Brendan on Thursday or Friday, we're 4 months away from having the new jail done, probably 6 months away from getting inmates moved in, maybe 7 months. So the next step is to decide what to do with the old jail. Whether that's repair, remodel, move people into, or if it's too structurally unsafe and we just tear down. So what I believe Mike is looking for is some proposals from some companies to go inside and investigate pipes, electrical, structural, any issues that the building may have, and kind of guide us in the direction we need to go moving forward with that building. So if there are any companies interested in taking a look at the building and giving us some type of proposal for us to sign, we would be welcome to that.
So are we gonna do an official RFP or RFQ, or are we just doing it this way and then?
I talked to Michael. He said really all we had to do was just talk about it in the meeting and then just, kind of see. We can do that if you want to, Brendan.
I think so, because the last scuttle that came up, we
Yeah.
thought we were doing what was right by doing the front, and then we had a couple contractors that were upset, saying they didn't have a chance. So I think, I'm glad that you're doing this, because it seems like we got media here today, both units here, so.
So then I guess we'll have Michael, would that be okay, Mike, to write something up and get it advertised in the newspaper?
But the one thing that we are gonna do for sure is move 911. When we started talking about this 5 years ago, 3 years ago, that they're tired of being in the dark. And at one time, 911 dispatch centers were strategically placed in low sections that were hard to penetrate for many reasons, but they want sunlight. So the plan has always been to bring them upstairs to where there is sunlight in a part of the building. But the last, we spent $100,000 on new equipment for them. Right. With the understanding that that equipment can easily be moved to the new location without being damaged, so. Other than that.
Then price on removing the steel cells,
bulldozer.
stuff like that too, so. Yeah, bulldozer would be fine.
We just gotta save a section for 911.
Yeah. So yeah, that's about it for that, Joel, so.
All right.
Item number 4, then, we have comments from commissioners or other elected officials.
Well, for information, a county engineer assured me that our last bit of community crossings paving was going to get done Wednesday. So we'll see
Yeah,
how that
and I've been
goes.
told Lakewood's getting done on Wednesday too, so what do you get done on Wednesday?
Westfield subdivision, yeah.
So we're going down to the wire.
It's making my hair gray.
Yep. So,
Todd Thacker's up there.
Mr. Thacker.
Yeah, I just, under comments, I just wanted to say, I wasn't able to attend the meeting last week, and I understand there were some concerns about the cooperation of council. And I just want to say, that's why I try to attend some of the commissioners' meetings, and I want to see us try to work with the commissioners to have a smoother, but I do have an issue with allowing things that I don't think are properly executed to go unaddressed. So I just wanted to address that with the concerns that was from the prior meeting of the commissioners.
No, we appreciate you coming, thank you.
I have one question for you,
No, I don't dye my
Councilman
hair.
Thacker. Where is my copy of Robert's Rules of Order?
Well, I
The
haven't
laminated one.
given any out yet.
You
so,
have it? They're only $7 on Amazon, if I recall correctly, so I'm looking forward
Well,
to my
$21,
copy.
you guys can be in.
We'll have to see what fund we can get that from.
All right,
You know, but it's neat that you mentioned that, because when Mike and were you on there when Jim Mann was on there too?
Yeah.
Okay, and he was our parliamentarian at the time, and man, you couldn't get anything past that guy. Not that I ever tried, but that was a joke. But yeah, I mean, it is so important to follow that, and we're pretty relaxed up here.
Well, and
But,
I think that's fine as long as but I just wanted to make sure, whenever we do something, we execute something, it doesn't get questioned later.
Right.
And something as important as the bonuses, I wanted to make sure, I'm for the employees getting the bonuses, but I just wanted to make sure we execute it correctly. And so, and I had a great talk with Attorney Effner, and I feel more comfortable about the situation, and I think we're going to move forward.
While you're up there, you touched on your vote on that. You want to make that a little clearer so everybody does understand why you did vote no?
I just voted no because I didn't think procedurally it was executed correctly,
Right.
and that's all I was saying on it. So, I think that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, and I just want to make sure that we want to do it. The Budget Committee reviewed things, and we had a process, and I just, on the bonuses, I think that's still, there was some confusion there, and that's all. And so I just want to make sure we get it right.
Did you serve on Budget Committee?
Unfortunately, Mike put me on there.
You did, and so you were on it. I never did, but how many hours do you think that you put in this year?
I probably only put in about 30 extra hours on it.
Well, but that's in meetings, though.
Yeah. Yeah,
But then,
just-
but then there's the side discussions too.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good process. I've been on a lot of trustee committees and over the years and done a lot of budgets, and it's really important. And I think it's really important to hear from the departments. That's the key thing, I think, and was one of my concerns with the bonuses. I don't know that we heard from the departments. And
Well,
so-
there's a common perception that when you're on the council, you just meet once a month, and I really didn't think that going into it, but I was surprised as to how much work you actually do on the council.
Well, it's.
Or what you can do.
What you can do,
What
yeah.
you can do.
But anyhow, I just
Can
wanted
do.
to be that if I don't disagree with your comments. I just want to say that I want to work with the commissioners, with the county council and the commissioners, and I think we'll work moving forward.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Are there any other comments from commissioners or other elected officials?
I have one. A special, unique Black Friday experience Mana from 7 is having on Friday. They're located at 215 North 7th Street and from 9 to 12. No food giveaways this time. It's just personal hygiene, feminine hygiene, toys, household cleaners, cosmetics, batteries, and a whole lot more. So if you're interested in going there and taking a look at what they have, they'll be available Friday from 9 to noon.
For those in need of it.
Yeah, in need.
And then, yeah, on that note, I've been getting a lot of messages, where can I donate clothes? It's that time of year where people want to do that. I highly recommend the Bethany House because we have a system, we being the Homeless Coalition, where the clothes go there. People know that they can go there during their open hours throughout the week and get them as they need. So there's a lot of people that, are saying, hey, bring your clothes here and there. But if my opinion's worth anything, Bethany House is the best way to do it. Because when I need clothes to take for outreach, I go there and get what's needed. New underwear, new socks, boots, and good repair are the three main things right now that's needed. You have plenty of coats. Comforters, blankets, no. Don't donate those, because homeless people, as soon as they take those, it gets wet and it becomes a burden, and then it becomes our trash to pick up. And then personal hygiene kits, like Chris mentioned, Reach Services, 14th and Hallman, they prepare the kits that we pass out. Women hygiene is really needed. Female hygiene is needed more supplies-wise than male hygiene right now. So
One more thing.
good social hour here.
Shout out to Boot City. They gave Loyal Veterans Battalion over 50 pairs of good used boots yesterday. So that's really cool.
Okay,
That's all I got.
you guys been busy.
You want to tell your refrigerator story? I think it's good for people to hear.
Well, the freezer went out at the jail, and the compressor. Of course, that's several dollars worth of food goods, so I located a refrigerated trailer, and it's being spotted in now so that we can keep our supplies in good shape while our great maintenance department gets the freezer fixed.
Good work.
So.
So if you see a big refrigerator trailer out there, it is for food storage.
Yeah.
Don't.
If that's all the comments from commissioners or elected officials, we'll move on to comments from the public. Is there anybody from the public that would like to make a comment?
Now it's on. Can you hear me now? Okay. My name's Cindy Rothrock, and I attended the meeting 2 meetings ago. And I'm back with a few questions and just a few comments regarding the Otter Creek project. My understanding is that the commissioners are trying to make it public access. Right now, it's currently privately owned. And so I'm asking a couple of questions that I'd like to see if you can tell me where I can find the information or the documentation or clarifying that the Vigo County owns Otter Creek at this time?
I don't believe anybody is asserting ownership of Otter Creek. The point that was made regarding the public access was that Otter Creek is a waterway of Indiana.
Correct.
I mean, it's a recognized waterway. Everybody understood the points that you and others made related to what you believe your property rights entitle you to concerning the Otter Creek. And at this point, I know, you know, the belief from the, you know, from my perspective at least, is that Otter Creek, nothing that you said that day was, I haven't found anything in conflict with what you said that day concerning the property line extending to the middle of Otter Creek. And so I think it's being assessed from a, usability standpoint, and eventually a decision will be made concerning the long-term prospect for that project.
Okay. Okay. Then my next question was going to be: is there written documentation showing that it's in the, that there's like an attempt or a process being done to change Otter Creek's navigability status?
I do not believe that that process has been initiated. I know I have not initiated that, and I don't believe that the DNR has done anything on that. But I'm not a good, you know, not the best source of information on that. So if, you know, that could have happened and I'm not aware of it, that's entirely plausible.
Okay.
But I don't know that that changes the fact that it still is a waterway. You know, I mean, it's not a recognized navigable waterway that, you know, like the Wabash River.
Correct.
But, you know, under, Indiana's waterway statute, I think it is, you know, permissible for people to be on Otter Creek
On the water.
within the confines of, of the law.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I guess the rest of them are just comments. I had a couple questions, and the rest are just comments that I don't feel it's right to take the land away from the landowners for a project that's not really the betterment of the county, and I just feel like it's going to cause more problems and for the county and the landowners. I think that if it's taken away from us at this point, what's going to keep from additional waterways being taken for public use? So I just see that it's just something that I just don't think that Otter Creek is, the ecosystem within Otter Creek can, I just think it will be a negative effect on the whole Otter Creek waterway if it is open to the public, because it's just going to take away that pristine ecosystem that it has now, and I just don't think it can withstand that in a positive way.
My only comment to that is nobody is taking any land. I just want to put that out there, given that this is public comment.
Okay.
You know, there is no attempt by the county or any other entity, to my knowledge, to try and take any land. What has been discussed is establishing a parking lot in a recognized right-of-way that the county has because of the bridge
Right.
that goes over Otter Creek, and allowing the public to access that waterway.
Okay.
Understanding, excuse me, that, yes, Otter Creek is not a navigable waterway that, you know, most people would be accustomed to boat launches and things like that, but there's no taking of land. That's not what's been contemplated or discussed, in my opinion. So, that's all. Thank you.
Cindy, could you elaborate on that? Because you sent all of us a letter saying that we're taking your land and this is going to be a big burden on the taxpayers, and none of us understand where you're coming from. So just for clarification purposes, can you elaborate on that?
Well, my understanding is if it becomes navigable, then that takes away the privacy of the riverbed or the waterway bed that is now privately owned.
So I'll go ahead and
Is
jump in,
that
Mike.
incorrect?
The non-navigable, navigable, and there's a new category, recreation waterway. I actually met with the DNR on Saturday about this. We can legally paddle Otter Creek without any issues. I'll just tell you that right now.
I agree with that.
Yes, and I agree with that also, on the
If
water.
a landowner wants to charge somebody with trespassing, which is weird, you can do it if somebody falls out of their kayak and their foot hits the ground. As soon as that moment occurs, that's where the trespassing component comes in, as it currently stands, as I've been informed by one of the top people in the DNR.
I think
With that said, I need to be charged with multiple counts of trespassing as a guy that walks with his daughter down the middle of Otter Creek to go bottle hunting, crayfish hunting, treasure hunting, and fly fishing. So I guess from now on, I will stop walking in Otter Creek and enjoying Otter Creek. But that's how it is right now. And you mentioned that the taxes are going to go up. I still don't understand that. There's no tax dollars even involved in this.
Well, at current time, the private landowners that have land along Otter Creek, in Otter Creek, we are paying the taxes on that.
You also are all in conservation programs, and you know I'm very well versed in this, that you guys took farmland at $56 an acre down to $1 an acre. So if there's any adverse impact to the taxpayers, when I think your family alone did over 1,000 acres in a conservation program, that's one hell of a hit to the county. So when we talk about, adversely affecting the taxpayers, I'm all for conservation programs. That's what I did for, I guess, a living, as we say, for 5 years, and I worked with your family on it. There is an advantage to doing that, as you're well aware. So it's not a tax issue. As far as Otter Creek goes, having 100 estimated kayaks a year go down Otter Creek is not going to adversely affect anything out there.
But if it's open to the public, there will be more than just 100 kayaks going down
It's
it.
open to the public now. The challenge is where can they launch? They can't launch on your property because you own it. You're obviously not going to let anybody do it. We own property off Tuttle Avenue. It's about 6 or 7 acres. If somebody wants to take their kayak down there, and this is where I go in, I don't kayak it. But we have that public parcel that people can use. They can use the bridge as it is right now. If somebody drops them off and they want to scurry down the guardrail and fish within our boundaries of the bridge, they have every right to do that. There's more right-of-ways that we have along Otter Creek, but you can't park a car, you can't access them easily. That's all on private ground.
Well, then how do you think that if you put public access in, that the public isn't going to just do what they want? There's no way to monitor that, and
There's no way to monitor anything like that. I mean, people are people.
So I know. So
As
why
you deal with trespassers on your property.
all the time? And dumping on our land right now, our farmer's got his backhoe over here from Illinois because we've had somebody dump 2 big truckloads of concrete on our property. One of them is right on the Old Erie Canal.
Okay.
So, we deal with it every single day. Our ground is surrounded by public ground.
Yeah,
We have public ground on the south, on the
And
west,
we
on the
deal
north,
with it
on
every
the
day,
east.
too. We just spent
So-
$300-something thousand on 2 trucks and a Bobcat. Well, actually, we spent it 2 years ago. Our equipment's still not in. for the sole purpose of picking up trash. I was picking up an illegal dump site yesterday on, it starts with an M, out there in the Chinook area, on the gravel road out there. It's, I mean, it's endemic, you know, and my family had a retreat. We had a nature preserve in Illinois, and I know Todd deals with this too in the back, because he has a nature preserve too. You get trespassers. I walked up on 2 yahoos that were drunk, and they were picking up turtles and putting them upside down just because they thought that was fun.
And I deal with it every day too. I like to feel I can walk on my property and not have concerns about running into.
Well, what I
people,
learned
which I
while
do all
working
the
for the
time.
DNR is that every time we opened up a public access site, or public access property, not a site, I don't want to get the vernacular here, meth labs went away. Meth labs have gone away anyway. But the nefarious activity that was occurring on private remote ground was stopped, because when it became public ground, the public started enjoying those properties. And if you got people like me, and I always use me and my daughter and my wife out walking around, the baddies are less apt to be going out to those areas to do what they need to do, because there are people in that area. And, you know, will it bring more people past your property if we promote kayaking along Otter Creek? Yeah, but it'll bring good people past your property. Those baddies aren't going to be floating down on a $1,400 Perception kayak with 2 $800 fishing poles wanting to catch a fish every now and then.
But they'll be walking it and then just go off to where
They
they
may
want
be
to go.
stoned, but, you know,
We just feel that it's a bad idea, even if you're just allowing public access onto private ground. They can float the waterway, and I really don't feel like it's navigable enough to even float it without having to step out of your kayak or out of your boat or whatever you're maneuvering across the body of the water without touching land. And when you touch land, you're trespassing.
Yeah, it's like that game operation, a big old
So,
buzzer will go off.
It's just,
You know, they're, oh, we gotta get back on, or I'm gonna get a
and whether they're
trespass
good
charge.
people or bad people, there's still going to be evidence left behind.
So-
You know, your
so-
water bottle falls out and floats down, you go get it because you're going to trespass. If you get out of your kayak to go get your water bottle, it just remains there.
Yeah.
So-
And the little fire you build to,
So I'm
to-
curious,
so-
so is it your perception that if we have a public access on Hasselberger, on Otter Creek, that this will cause someone with dump trucks full of concrete to start dumping there?
I don't know. I think there
Well,
will
I mean,
be
it'd be our property to
dumping.
clean up at that point, I guess.
I think there will be dumping there, or there'll be remains left behind if somebody wants to go down, build a little campfire down there and, you know, just what their vision of is enjoying it, and then just leave the remains. Where they're gonna get the firewood? They're gonna walk
Okay.
over to the woods and pick up
right.
sticks and build a fire and just walk off, or, you know, walk down the creek a little ways.
So we should shut
so-
down Mill Creek Park right
Oh,
now?
Marco Mill Dam.
Marco Mill Dam as well?
Well, you've already got a public spot right there, just let them go there.
Should we shut it down as well? I mean, it's contaminating the Otter Creek. I'm just
think-
curious, I
well,
mean, how, I mean,
Yeah, I
if
don't
we start
really-
rolling this back, should we eliminate all
I
the
think-
public access to that creek? Is
If
that what you're
there's-
advocating?
To access, public access to the creek, that's already a public spot, correct?
I understand.
And then once you leave the boundaries of that, then you're on private land.
We already have a public spot. We own the property. The county owns the property.
Right.
You don't own that property that we own, I believe.
No,
It already is a public spot, 2 spots. But I'm just curious. I mean, so you would advocate that we shut down the Mill Dam site?
no, I'm not advocating that at all. I'm
Okay.
just saying that adding public access, if you're gonna leave it as is, as far as non-navigable, then you're gonna have a lot of conflicts, for sure. And people, whether good people, bad people, if they're gonna use Otter Creek, they can't, I don't see that they can use it by only floating the water, not touching the land, and touching the land means trespassing.
It's your creek. That's what you said.
I'm not saying, I'm saying that the land, the waterway bed
Oh, okay.
and the
I'm
banks
confused. I thought
that
you said it
flow
was your
through our
property.
property, the part that flows through our property that we own is included in our property?
It's your creek.
A
It's your
portion of
property
it,
underneath the water or whatever.
a portion of it,
And it's the same with the Wabash River, that Cindy's family owns property that the property boundary is, well, when it was established, whenever surveyed in the early 1800s, the middle of the river, but that has moved since then. Yeah, but the difference is the term navigable, non-navigable. Non-navigable, you
Right.
can go down it, but you get in trouble if you stick your foot and touch the hard surface below, which is technically owned by that landowner. So what Cindy is saying is right. But it's really interesting, because I posed this, that Cindy expressed concern at a commissioners meeting, along with a couple others, when I was at the Wabash River Heritage Corridor Commission meeting that we had 2 weeks ago. And everybody was shocked that the discussion was even held. And I don't know if you're familiar with that group. There's 19 counties in Indiana. Each county has a representative on the board. It's a state board, a state advisory board. I happen to be leading it this year. And so we had a discussion about it, and it was an eye-opener, because so many counties are promoting the use of their creeks, their waterways right now, and there's the support for doing it community-wise is out there, but there's a couple of landowners that say, no, we don't want this. And one of the more heavily kayaked, canoed areas in Indiana is in northern Indiana, Wildcat Creek, and they're actually dealing with issues up there because of exactly what you're talking about. A couple landowners own part of it, and they say, you can't paddle on my section. So it's causing problems for the community. So it looks like we're going to be dealing with that too. So we do have a statewide focus on Vigo County because of your concerns. And it's an interesting study to see what the results are. But the DNR is aware. They recognize it's a tricky spot too, because the DNR has a mission to improve public access to natural areas. Which is what all of us want. So I will share with you, Cindy, that I'm glad you guys came and expressed your concerns. That's what this forum is for. I did research on my own. Michael, I know, did for sure. Looked into it too from the legal perspective. It's amazing how many comments that came my way, because I need positive news, and that discussion sucked the wind out of my sail, because this is something that I believe in, and I thought we were doing something that was right. The amount of positive comments that came my way flipped that. So many people said, this is great. I hope you can do this. We'll do what we can to support you. We're looking for places to go. We're tired of traveling, other places to go. And so thank you for approaching us and sharing this, because it definitely helped get the word out. And it showed me how many people are supportive of this venture. Did you have more questions?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But I
We'll
think,
keep you in the loop, because one of the things you put in the letter, I think
Yes.
you were concerned that we didn't contact all of you first, and that we should have cleared it with you before we discussed this. We'll do our part, or I will for sure, to make sure that you're better informed as we move forward, or as it stalls. You know, we'll make sure that you guys are aware, as needed. We don't need to bring in every little detail. That's kind of silly.
okay, I guess I will ask one more question.
Yeah.
So are you saying that you're not looking at changing the status of Otter Creek?
Oh, I am, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
To make
Yeah.
it public?
Well, it's public now, but to make it
The
official.
water's public.
Yeah, there's
The
a new,
land's not. So,
there's a new designation.
So how is that not taking the
recreational
land from us?
waterways. Yeah, when I met with the DNR on Saturday, the new designation is recreational waterway. And so that's what I'm going to be pursuing. Yeah.
Mr. Rock, there's nothing that could stop a private landowner on Otter Creek from opening up their own private business and allowing people to pay to canoe down or kayak down. I mean, what we're trying to do, or what I believe Brendan's trying to do, is to make it easier and accessible for everybody to just do it instead of something like that coming along.
yeah.
I mean, right
But
now,
I
so
just
if a
don't
private
think Otter
landowner
Creek-
right now wanted to bring 25 of his friends to his private property and say, hey, you guys want to get in the creek and go for a ride, he could do that. Are you going to be mad at him because he's your neighbor for doing that?
On his part? I mean,
On his
I
piece of
honestly
private
don't
property?
believe anybody that has Otter Creek on their property I feel like they feel like, it's not like a selfishness.
No, I
It's-
understand.
It's like
I'm
to
just asking.
preserve Otter Creek and keep it more pristine than, it just can't support the public without making the ecosystem and everything just go a negative way.
Well, we're all
You know?
campers, and we all go to camping in West Rockville.
Well, I go, what common place that we go is the Lincoln State Park
I'm
Marshall
talking
area.
about Sugar
Right.
Valley Canoes.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, Sugar Creek.
And that's what I'm saying. There are public
But it's
places.
been getting navigated for 25, 30, 40 years now with canoes and
100 years.
kayaks, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with it. One of the most highly traveled creeks in the state, trash cans everywhere. You know, people, of course, you're going to have people that are not good,
Yeah.
but
But who's going to clean up Otter Creek when it'll all
we do.
float out to the
We
river?
have to.
I do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the good people that are going to clean it up. You know, just like Brendan said, and we have guys from Hamilton Center here right now. If you got somebody in the woods doing bad things, but you bring 2 good people along, those people aren't going to come back again because they're scared they're going to get caught. And then they have to face the consequences. I mean, we all understand what you're saying. I promise we do. But and I usually don't comment on these things because I don't know enough. But listening to Michael and Brendan both say that right now you can do it. So right now,
can
somebody
float
could
the
go
water.
to that public site and get in right now. And there's nothing that can be done.
Yeah, because right now the water's low enough, they'll be touching ground.
But the water could be high enough tomorrow. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, you know,
things change every day.
I run my riverboat up it when the river floods. I mean, is that an issue? I mean, are you guys mad at me because I'm running my riverboat up Otter Creek? Seriously, I mean, it's a question with merit, you know? It is, when the waters flood, and you know this, because I know you're an expert in this, I don't want to say also, but yeah, I mean, we both know what we're talking about. If fields are flooded and somebody wants to jump out of the bank of the Wabash River and go through that field, unfortunately, that's legal. Is it trespassing? It's kind of icky, but it's legal. You can do it, which is, you know, about 38,000 acres on behalf of the state. A lot of those landowners had concerns about that. They don't want people driving their boats or paddling, canoeing, whatever, in their fields when it flooded. It was one of the headaches they dealt with. But it's just, it's the way the laws are written. Water's up, you can do it. You have to stay in the confines of the natural bank, though, when the water's in the natural bank. You can't park, you can't stop and go out and climb around and trespass. That's illegal. We all know that. But, you know, I do a lot of YouTube videos. And I've got many videos out there of me going up Otter Creek. And I do that because people like it. They like to see what they can't see. The fact that this Yahoo right here has the toys to go up and do it, and the ability to photograph it, videotape it. I mean, you know how popular my photos are.
I
Those are
understand.
photographed
Yes.
along the Otter Creek area.
I understand that.
The ladies that are in Westminster Village that make comments to me all the time, man, I love the fact that you're doing this. I've always wanted to go out there. Are we going to take that away from them because a couple landowners don't want this knucklehead to go up there and take pictures and video on land that's technically legal, or not land, on water that's legal to go up? I mean, those are the things that we all need to look at. I'm not sure why I'm even
But
talking
I think,
again.
well, and I think a part of it is, yes, people do
I like the
appreciate
song.
seeing that, but then they think, well, if Brenda can do it, I can do it. And they don't understand the rules and regulations that go along with that.
But as you know, I share.
We had one of your friends come down because he wanted to go see the Eagles. So he just drives right down through the middle of our property on a road to go see the Eagles, you know?
I told him.
Yeah, so,
I don't know who that was, but that's,
Yeah.
and you know, Cindy, people will use excuses all the time.
I
You
know
dealt
they
with
do.
that.
I understand that.
When there's that
Yes.
1 acre that I actually, I transferred that land over on behalf of the state to you guys because of that problem. But there's that 1 acre in the middle of your property on the north side of Otter Creek by the train tracks. That, remember, there's a guy that was hunting on that because he said that's public ground.
Correct.
But who took care of that for you? I did. So I recognize that there are those issues, and that guy used that to his advantage. He lied, he trespassed,
yeah.
and there are so many people out there that say, well,
They do.
Kern said it was okay. Well, I want to meet that guy. He sounds like a real goofball. But, you know, people will say anything.
I know they do.
You know,
I mean, I've heard it all.
I
It's
saw
river
those
bottom
photos of the
grounds,
naked
anybody
guy
can
on the
be
trail camera.
Yeah.
That was weird. But that's not normal either. I mean, people,
Well, I found out that that is normal because the Cassie, you'll be
it
meeting her.
is normal?
Yes, it's called freestyling, and
Oh.
that's the new thing now, is to go out into nature naked and walk around.
Well, I'm not in it.
And the
So-
DNR guys told me that's a very common thing now. They weren't surprised at all when I.
Let's plant more locust trees then, okay? We'll get more locust trees through
Yeah.
the woods. Those are the ones with the thorns, right?
Yeah, honey
Yeah.
locust, black locust, yeah.
All right, miss, if
Yeah.
you have any
Okay,
more.
I think you're done. Thank you very much for
Thank you,
listening to
Cindy.
me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I gotta remind us of one thing next week. Tammy reminded me of, we won't have a meeting next week because we'll all be at conferences in Indy.
right.
And then second, talked to Michael yesterday about hunting on county property.
No.
That's a no-no. That's not allowed. Around the industrial park, anywhere on county property.
The same guy's asking you now that asked me, that asked Brad, that asked Judy, that asked John Marvel, that asked Jim Deal. Yeah, when I first got here.
I received probably 4 phone calls in the past 2 days about hunting, and after talking to Michael, that's no. So, no hunting on county property.
Yes. County-owned property.
County.
Any other final comments from the public?
Hey, Evelyn. Oh. Okay. Oh, wait. I think I know what she's going to ask.
Nope, I don't think you do, not
Uh-oh.
this time.
Uh-oh.
Maybe not. Okay, I'm not here to complain this time, I'm just here to ask a question. I recently had to recycle 2 of my TVs, and I had to pay $40, like $20 a piece. But I wondered if there was a way, with the holidays coming and people getting a lot of new TVs and things, but maybe between now and in January, you guys could work out that there'd be a free TV drop-offs as opposed to like people throw them on the side of the road.
That's an incredible idea, actually. Who wants to throw the butt part out? You want to do the butt part?
But it cost us to dispose of those TVs.
Well, that's what they told me, but that's what I'm asking now, if probably there was a way you guys could find some funds where they could do that, because I also have another one that's in a veterans organization that's just sitting in the back room collecting dust, because I asked if I could get a freebie on that one, and he said, no, sorry, because we got to pay for it too. But I just thought maybe between now and then you could find a way to come up with something, just like a 1-month thing or like a 1-week thing, where
Half
you're not
price
picking
off.
them up on the side of the road the next day, you know?
Yeah, we can
So-
talk to,
Yeah, well, he's watching right now.
Oh, yeah, he's always watching.
I'm waiting for a text message.
hi
to come
Karen.
through.
Yeah.
And,
But yeah, I think that's an incredible idea. And so I actually addressed, this year to eliminate the $20 fee. And then when I saw how much it cost us, because it's a direct pass-through cost. What people don't realize now is we have to pay for recycling. So money comes into us through tipping fees from the landfill. That's what funds our solid waste group. We pay, so each dumpster that goes out, I know Howard's here, so Howard, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you recall, is it $2,000 a dumpster, what we pay? You don't remember? Do you guys remember? I don't.
It's a pretty,
It's close to it, and I think we do. It's unusual to pull 3 of those a day. So, or maybe it's $2,000 a day, but we pay for that. So, but, no, we find TVs all the time, and we're out in the county just driving around, so.
Well, I mean, I know, because I saw that you posted pictures, and I figured the other people are this, I just don't have, they're not my Facebook friends, so I don't see that, but I'm sure that everyone finds them on the side of the road too. I mean, I've saw them on the side of the road.
Yeah.
But I just thought there, maybe you could, something you could work on or think about between now and the holiday, the first of the year, because people are probably going to be getting new ones, or even in the upgrade. There's so many of the aftermarket, like the Lighthouse Mission and the thrift stores, won't take the old big box ones. They won't even take a 24-inch TV anymore. It's, nobody wants them.
Right. No,
So-
that's a great idea.
But I just thought I'd toss that out there, give you a chance to think about it.
We'll talk to Karen today. While Evelyn's up here, did you review the ordinance that we gave you to look at?
I did.
Are you
and,
okay with it so far?
So far, I just, because when Kurt said that about they could round up the acreage, like if you had a half an acre, it would, like 5.1 acre, it would go up to.
Up to 1?
Yeah, just so you don't get caught on like, no, you're 13 feet short of having enough room to have a goat. you know, I want to be sure that's just taken care of, basically.
How do you guys feel? I mean, are you okay with it? Not to pass today, of course, but Bill, is this, if we want to move it forward, are we going to have like a 30-day thing on this one since it's an ordinance, or Mike?
I mean, an ordinance that has a fine in it has to be published 30 days before it takes effect.
Okay.
To give the public notice of the fact that they can be fined for something. So if it has a fine provision, then it, yes, would need to be published, and then it would take effect 30 days post that.
I think in this instance, the fine provisions are already built in. It would just be the same fine as there it is for other violations. They're not actually written into the new ordinance. So I don't think we would actually have to wait the 30 days in this instance. We're not putting in specific fines for these offenses. They're just the same fines they would be for other offenses of a similar nature.
Can we have it ready to vote on December 7th?
Yeah, we could have it
Does
done by
that
then.
sound good, Mike? That's good. Okay, Chris, thank you.
Okay,
Thanks,
then,
Evelyn.
my other question is about the acreage. Now that would include the entire property as the acreage, not the actual area where the goats are at.
It would count the land that you own, the total
Okay,
land that you own.
that's why I wanted to verify that the actual pin didn't have to be that size.
So if it's 3 or 4 lots that total .47 acre, no. But if it's .51, then yes.
Yeah, you round up, yes.
That'll be fun.
Okay, that's it.
Thanks for bringing your televisions in, Evelyn. We appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I'm not going to throw them on the side of the road.
Shoot them first like everybody else, though.
No,
Our solid waste manager, Karen Nasser, he has said that it's been very steady. People do mention that fee. Again, Commissioner Kearns indicated why that was. But it seems to be working. At least we have a place to go with them.
yeah, well, one of my, I saw on Facebook, somebody posted a picture, and they had theirs on a tarp in the driveway, and they drove over it, and then they said, problem solved. So I assume that they just put it in a dumpster.
Probably.
But
Probably.
I'm not going to do that. Like I said, you know, I take my glass to Rockville. I recycle everything I can, so, you know.
Yep, yep.
And Karen's constantly, he says every Monday he goes on some website and see what the possibilities are for glass, and it's just not there right
Yeah,
now.
so,
No, we would have to charge people to take glass at this point.
yeah, so anyway, but I just wanted to mention that maybe there's a way we could figure out something with the TVs for just a 1 or 2 week thing in January, just to help keep them off the side of the road.
It's a great idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Evelyn.
Thank you.
Yeah, the conference we're going to is the Indiana Association of
County commissioners.
County
Commission.
Officials. Oh,
Commissioners.
is this commissioner only one?
Commissioner.
Yeah. So we're gonna go be educated. It's about time I learned something about this job, so I'm looking forward to attending a couple sessions.
Yeah, 4 years in, finally, you think you know something?
Long time.
Are there any other final comments from the public?
Okay, so the next meeting's December 7th.
Yep.
December 7th. Pearl Harbor Day. Okay.